Hi guys, welcome back to Irish Footy Vlogs. Welcome back to another video of ours. We're going to look back at the FAI Cup results over the weekend. Of course, Galway played UCD 1.5 times, pretty much. The first game was obviously called off, so it was as Galway were 2-0 up at Belfield on Friday, but it was replayed on Monday. We'll start with Monday's games first, actually, and finish UCD 1, Galway United 5 in Belfield, and Billy's shaking his head here. Looks like you're wearing a UCD jersey, actually.
Oh yeah.
Because at the end of the day, UCD are a Premier Division team, Galway are a First Division team, but UCD are well adrift at the bottom of the Premier Division table. Galway the opposite; they're well ahead in the First Division table, and massive gap between both sides. I've often said how poor UCD are actually from defending set pieces this season, in particular, and that was no different in this game. But the first goal they conceded through Wazim, which was after 6 minutes. Just a straight ball through. Wazim is 1-on-1. It's not even as if UCD are playing a high line. Their line is very fragmented actually, and it's just a 1-on-1. And Wazim cuts through, finishes well. It's very easy, to be honest with you, to get to that position. David Hurley with two free kicks, two actually good free kicks, but the second one I thought was a belter. Absolutely fantastic free kick from Hurley. He's been magnificent this season, to be fair, for Galway. He must have 18 goals now, actually. I forgot to check. I was meant to check before it came on, but must have 18 goals this season. Unbelievable tally for a player of his type, because he's not what I would call an out and out attacking midfielder per se. Like, he can play a number of roles in midfield, and he can cover ground, he can defend, tackle, he can do nearly everything in midfield. He's been excellent for them this season. Ronan Manning made it 4 right in half time. In the second half, Ron Manley came on, made it 5 on 70 minutes. That was from a corner kick as well. Set pieces. Even the goal for UCD was scored by Galway. G-Boy O'Reilly on 87 minutes. And Galway safely into the next round, and it's a bad defeat for UCD, particularly when they were 2 down in the first game of such on Friday as well. You have to remember half time, conditions are poor, but it's a bad one for them, for their confidence in that to take, because it's just a humbling defeat for them. And Galway just go from strength to strength, and going to be tricky enough, not going to be easy to beat in this cup either, I don't think, Galway. And they can really go for both. But what did you think of that result, Billy?
UCD, I think they concede too much goals from corner kicks. I think they just concede far too many, and I think they're not a Premier Division club. I think that Galway will do they'll obviously win the league, so I think they'll do well next season in the Premier Division, and I think UCD, they'll come around third, fourth-ish. I don't think they will get top 2.
No, probably not. But Galway, our Premier Division team, in my opinion, as we speak, even with the squad they have, I think they'd actually finish out of Cork, if I'm honest with you, in the league. At this minute, I think they're better side than Cork, for example. But we'll get on to Cork, we'll get on to the Munster Derby, and Cork did have a very good win against Waterford 3-0. I was shocked when I seen that Waterford were actually the bookies' favourites to win this match, because I'd Cork down to win this. I think Waterford are nowhere near as good as they were last season, despite Ronan Coughlin getting the goals, banging in the goals. And that's a concern for them. Coughlin went off injured in this game, so that's a big concern for them going forward. Ido was sent off in 90 minutes after receiving a second yellow as well. But they conceded a goal in the first minute, Waterford. Rory Keating, great to see him back. He was sharp in this game and scored in the first minute. Nice, tidy finish, sloppy from Waterford though. Hoonihan made it 2, and Bargary at the end made it 3. Bargary probably should have scored earlier on. And Polger played a lovely through ball. Bargary was in and didn't apply the finish, hit it wide. But it was a comfortable enough win for Cork in the end. Waterford, they had 1 or 2 opportunities, but Cork were definitely the better side in this game, and deserved to win the match. I did think they'd win the match. I think, you look at them last season, the First Division, they were stronger than Waterford as such. Waterford squad isn't as good. This season, the recruitment, I think, at Waterford, bit iffy, I have to say. A few interesting decisions recently as well. Killian Campbell not getting his game, which is interesting. Keith playing on the right-hand side of defence a lot of the time for Waterford as well. And he was cut out as such for one of the goals here as well. But yeah, I don't know. It's a strange one. It's a strange one because, without going too much into detail, but I do think if Cork finish 9th, I think they'll beat anyone who comes up through the First Division playoffs. But it's a good result for them. They won 3-0 at home. There's not much more they can do about that. Great for them that Keishan is back. Kabea hit the upright in this game as well. And they go into the next round and into the quarterfinals. And, you know, it'd be interesting to see how they do. Kustovic is playing really well at right back for them. Overall thoughts, Cork Waterford 3-0?
I think it's a comfortable win for Cork. I think you'd expect it though, because Waterford aren't as good as they were last season. They don't look like they don't have the squad that they had last season.
No.
There's just a big difference in gap between Waterford last season and this season. And Rory Keaton, I think, is a crucial player for Cork though. They need him up top.
Yeah,
because they get the goals.
Yeah, they've missed him and he's been missing there obviously in the last number of weeks. And yeah, Bohemians 6, that's what you're laughing at, isn't it? Bohemians 6, Rockmount of Cork 0. And it was always a case of when Bowles scored the first goal, and they scored after 18 minutes through James Clark. Afalabi scoring on 23. Clark again on 45 with a wonderful goal. Great finish, wasn't it?
Yeah.
McDade on 56, Tordick 66, and McDonald 86. So quite a few different scores. Comfortable for Bowles, easy peasy into the next round. Yeah.
Don't really have to say much as expected though.
Yeah. It's always a case of how early you score the first goal in these games, I think, isn't it, as well? Yeah. And Clark and Afalabi again doing the business, I suppose. And Clark's, I suppose, his second goal was brilliant, wasn't it?
Yeah, I kept looking on live score, when they're going to score. Then they finally scored. The 18th minute.
Yeah, look, Rockmount, you know what I mean? It's a difficult one for them coming up against the Premier Division side. And, you know, Bowles as well went full strength. And a lot of people were surprised with that. No, I wasn't surprised with that. Why wouldn't you go full strength? If a match next Friday in the league, why not? Like, you know, you make sure you don't mess around in these games either, like, you know, that kind of way. And, you know, if you need to take players off later in the game, then that's the time you can do it. So this was job done for Bowles. That's all you can say, really, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Bray Wanderers 0, Dundalk 1. Horgan wins first goal, Darrell Horgan first goal for the club on a return, obviously, late in the game. And they missed a penalty earlier on in this game as well, Dundalk, Conor Malley. But conditions were awful in the Carlisle. The pitch was in better condition in Belfield, which is why it went ahead. And Dundalk have this knack of picking up wins when they don't play that great, actually. And this wasn't a great performance either against the Bray side, who've been seriously struggling, actually. What are you doing, looking at your belly?
No, I'm fixing this.
Looking at your six-pack, is it?
I don't have one.
Don't worry, I don't either. But yeah, I mean, Bray dug in, and they'll be disappointed because the conditions were poor, and they'll be thinking late in the game that maybe we can get at the penalties or something like that, and you just never know then. But as I said, they've been poor lately, and Dundalk, look, they're through to the next round. That's all Dundalk is saying. That's all that matters. But what are your general thoughts?
I thought Dundalk would win by more. I wasn't expecting a 1-0 though. But they just got the job done. They done what they had to do, get the win.
Yeah, that's what's important in the cup.
That's weird to say, get the 3 points.
Yeah, in the cup, that's very important. Kerry FC 0, Drogheda United 1. Kyle Robinson's first goal of the club on 10 minutes. Good play by Rooney, and he finishes it well. I suppose from Drogheda's point of view, again, same thing. They win the match, they're into the next round. But they'll probably, the fact that they got an early goal, they'll be disappointed they didn't kick on maybe and win this game more comfortably. Kerry, on the other hand, will be happy that they did okay, to be fair. You'd have to say, against a Premier Division team. They've had some bad results this season in their own division. So to come up against a team like Drogheda, particularly scoring a goal, conceding a goal early, they'd be pleased with their overall performance. And, you know, they'd be still looking to get that win at Mount Hawk this season and that. So, yeah, I mean, job done again for Drogheda. Not a great display by them at all. They'd be disappointed with the display. But at the end of the day, again, it does come into with the cup. The win, just as long as you get through, you know what I mean? It's performances in the league are kind of like the bigger thing really over the course of a season, I think. But in the cup, probably a bit of pressure on them actually coming into this game as well. Expected to go down and beat Kerry easy. But I suppose the fact that they scored so early, you would expect Drogheda to go on and win it more comfortably, would you?
Yeah, same thing though. They just got the job done. I thought though they got an early goal and you'd expect them to win by like 3 or 4 or even more. But like that rhymes. But like they got the job done. That's all that matters.
It is all that matters, isn't it? Finished Finn Harps 5, Skerries Town 0. And this is an impressive result for Finn Harps because I thought they'd win all right, but 5-0 was a big result for Harps in this game. The early goal did help, and they did kick on. Max Hutchison scoring after 3 minutes, and then Ryan Flood made it 2-0 after 15. Patrick Ferry after 47 minutes. Sean O'Donnell on 55, and Ryan Flood again with a good goal on 58 minutes. Sean O'Donnell's ball was a straight ball through, and Skerries didn't deal with it at all. But Harps be happy with that because they've been struggling more or less in the first division this season, and a lot of people said this could have been an iffy one for them if you look at like some of the other results and that. But that's a big result for Harps to win 5-0 and go through to the next round. And Ryan Flood's been playing really well with them this season. He's a wand of a left foot. So despite Harps maybe not being brilliant, he's been one of the best players in the division this year, I think. And I'd be very happy to win that 5-0, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's a very good win for Finn Harps, though. It probably gets their confidence up now for the first division now as well.
Yeah, I think so. It finished then Patrick CY 0, Wexford FC 1, and again Wexford get through. Not a great performance in Irish Town. Darry Levinson with the goal to give them the win, and they came up against a non-league team and beat them 1-0. Billy Wexford into the next round as well, and they'll be happy enough with that. St Patrick's will feel like they could have actually caused a bit of an upset in this game. They're probably the closest team to come up with an upset. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Wexford, they just done what they had to do. They got their job done, and you'd expect them to win against a non-league team as well. So, against a cup, anything can happen. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, they're through to the next round, as you say there, and Wexford will be happy with that job done. And finally, it finished Derry City 0, which was the tie round really. St Patrick's Athletic 0, and St Patrick's going through in penalties here, and it was always going to be, I felt, a difficult game for Derry City. I had a hunch Pats were going to win, to be honest. I had a hunch, didn't I? I said that, I had a hunch they were going to win or get through, and they did get through. Obviously, Derry on Thursday night had that tough European game and mentally challenging, physically challenging, got all the way to penalties, losing. Same thing happened here in this game. They had a lot of the ball, Derry, though. A lot of the ball. They didn't play the likes of Connolly from the start and Duffy from the start, and they did have a lot of ball in the game. And Pat sat back deep. Pat did sit back deep, and obviously that was their game plan, sit back deep. But I think in the first half in particular, Pats could have done more in the counter attack. They sat back deep without trying to counter attack, and it felt at times that maybe if Derry got in front, Pats were in trouble a little bit. But funnily enough, Pats had the best chances in the half. Carty could do better. He lobs the keeper, goes over, and actually was a good flow move from Pats. These were by the end of the half as well, near the end of the half, where Curtis forced a good save from Mar. But Derry had their chances. Now Pats did defend well, don't get me wrong, in the game as well. I thought Redmond McGrath had his best game for Pats, I thought, this season. I gave him man of the match. And Lennon was really good in midfield as well. Second half was a bit more open. Patchin does hit the post from a free kick with Linus beating all ends up, to be honest. And Derry just lacked that cutting edge. They lacked a centre forward to they're lacking a centre forward. And it's strange because McGonigal is a good player and so is Kavanagh, but they're lacking that goal scorer. It's the same for Pats actually as well. But when you have a lot of the ball in the game, they just lack that, to be honest with you. In extra time, I suppose Pats maybe surprisingly sat back a little bit as well. I thought at times maybe Pats could have attacked more, went at Derry more, because I did think that Derry, with their tired legs, it's like Pats are capable of scoring against them, you know what I mean? But they took a little chance in extra time, I think, and in the end it worked out by winning and penalties. So onto the penalty shootout, and two players you wouldn't expect not just to miss penalties, but miss the target. Duffy with an awful penalty, you have to say, and Mulroney with a poor penalty that both missed the target. Connolly is the post later, he's unlucky. Mason Melia
scores to win it.
Yeah, 15-year-old, pretty much was the winning penalty. He took it before Connolly, but lovely composure to find the corner net, and he wins it. And I suppose Pats go through into the next round, and disappointing week overall for Derry, Billy.
Yeah, I thought like Pats could win it in the first 90 minutes before the match even, because Derry had that Europe match that went all the way to penalties as well. When it went to penalties, I thought Derry would win it because they had more No, I'm not being biased, but they have like better players like to take penalties. Like they have Michael Duffy, who obviously missed.
Awful penalty, actually.
McGonagall, on and on.
Mhm.
Like I thought Patch would been in the first 90 minutes because of the tired legs that Derry had. So I'm kind of surprised I went to penalties.
Yeah, and to lose two penalty shootouts in 4 days is sickening, to be fair. And I suppose the draw, I'm not going to talk too much about it because when the games come around, I'll do a show and the predictions on them. But quickly, thoughts, Drogheda and Bows. Tricky one that for Bows?
Yeah, I think anyone could win this 50-50.
It's a tricky one for Bows. Another 1-0 and 1-1-0 there earlier on in the season where they were fortunate to get the win in Drogheda. So,
They won
and
4-2.
the 1-4-2, that was in
Dalymount.
Dalymount, where it was an open game and the red card definitely had Bowes in that game. So that's no way a foregone conclusion for Bowes by any means, I can tell you. Galway, and I think Dundalk's another one. I think that's a tricky one for Dundalk, and Dundalk will have to play well. They've had games this season where they haven't played well and won, but I think going to Galway, all the pressure be on Dundalk as
I
well.
think Galway will win.
You actually think they'll win? I'm not going to make any predictions yet because we do show it.
Yeah.
Finn Harps and Pats, and to be honest, you'd have to say it's a decent draw for Pats. Harps will be looking forward to it. There's no doubt about it. But with the draws and the teams available, you'd have to say that Pats will be favourites there. To be fair, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
And finally, what was the last one again? Cork City at home to Wexford FC, and Cork have to fancy their chances in Turner's Cross against a Wexford side who've flattered to the seed this season.
Yeah.
Pretty much. But look, we're not going to talk too much about them, are we, to be honest, because it'll be a show whenever they're out and that. So, guys, we'll leave it there. Thanks for watching. Let us know what you thought of the games last weekend. Anything surprise you? Are you happy your team's gone through? Disappointed?
Yeah.
What did you think of the games overall, and what should they do?
Don't forget to like and subscribe, and don't forget to push your bell notification button for more videos.
Right, see you later, boys and girls. Good luck.